And she had such a fit with the bank because they wouldn't take the power of attorney. Hi, Jeff Marsace, the Plain English Attorney, and today we've got a short but important video, and this is why isn't my power of attorney working at the bank or at the broker's office? And if you've got a revocable living trust, you've probably done a very good and very thorough job working with your attorney to put together an estate plan that's going to avoid probate. And if you've done what you're supposed to do, you funded your trust, which means you have accounts that are titled in the name of the trust. Now, if you or you and a spouse or partner put together your trust, both of you are on there as the trustees. So no issues there with you going in. Thing is, sometimes I end up with individuals or widows or widowers who are a little bit older, and they're already relying on one of the kids or someone else to help them out with banking and do certain things and take certain actions. And they're going into the bank, I've got the power of attorney and I need access to this account. Well, the account's in the name of the trust. Your power of attorney isn't going to do anything to gain access to an account that's titled in the name of the trust, because you've got a trust document that lays out all of the different rules and regulations that you've put in place surrounding that account. And that's a big part of what's helping avoid probate if you pass on, or what we call living probate if you become incapacitated. And you don't need a guardianship because the account is in the trust. If you think it's important for educational videos like this to get out there, then please help us out by subscribing to the channel. Now, the easiest way to lay this out and talk about this concept is, imagine the President of the United States, Joe Biden. He's president, and the First Lady, his wife, is Dr. Jill Biden, and she's his power of attorney. She goes down to the Situation Room and says, I'm Joe's power of attorney. I want to withdraw all the troops from South Korea. No, you're not going to, we can't let you in. You don't have access. You're the First Lady, but you don't get to make military orders. But I'm his power of attorney. No, because his authority as president is derived from the Constitution and the various laws surrounding it, and who gets access and who's able to move military personnel is laid out in the Constitution and those laws. And just because you're the power of attorney for someone doesn't let you intrude on that role. Again, going way out there, but what if she was the Secretary of Defense? Oh, okay, it's a whole completely different thing, because under the Constitution and the laws, she's been given that authority. So when we put together the packages for a revocable living trust, there's a revocable living trust, there's a power of attorney. Who gets access is up to you. But unless someone is a current trustee, the bank and the financial institution isn't going to allow access to those accounts to that person. So what have we typically done in these situations? Well, look, there are a couple of options. And some of them are formal and informal. Let's talk about the informal ones, because if you talk with the bank or the financial institution, you can sign paperwork if they have it, allowing them access to an account that's in the trust. Now, there may have to be certain provisions within the trust, because, look, that's the deal. You're putting an account into the trust to avoid probate, so if you pass on or you become incapacitated, it's listed in there. But you can also say, okay, I'm allowed to provide access to the next successor trustee while I'm alive. Okay, you could do that. You could also make them a co-trustee. Okay, if you make them a co-trustee, oftentimes this could create problems if you want to make absolutely sure that they're not then going to require both of you to sign everything and both of your approvals. It's got to be very explicitly discussed with the financial institution before you take that step. In general, I don't like co-trustees. This is a little bit of an exception because it's not like, oh, I want my kids to be successor co-trustees after I die. That's when you end up with more of a mess. Or, well, I want my 2 or 3 kids to be co-trustees and I'm going to resign and let them handle it together. No. But if it's you, it's your trust, and you're naming your next successor co-trustee, okay, they're going to end up becoming an active co-trustee. You can do that. Another option, you can resign as trustee, but this has the drawback of you are no longer in charge. You can't go down to the bank and demand your money. You can't call up and say, hey, I want you to make these trades. If you're turning it all over, and believe me, I sometimes do get clients that are in their upper 80s or early 90s, and they just don't want to deal with their own finances. They just want to make sure they got what they've got. They can still be largely independent. They arrange things with the trustee so that they can have a credit card and a debit card, and there's always a certain amount of money. And so, look, they can spend what they want to spend, but they're not taking care of their monthly bills. They've already got their trustee. They're just handling it for them each and every month, and they're making sure the bills are paid. But they're not completely losing their independence. But they are losing their independence to say, this is my trust. I want to go in and liquidate this, and I want to make this move, and I want to pull out this large sum of money. So that's something you really have to think about. Another item, another way to do this, which, I mean, I don't typically recommend just because it can end up being complicated. And the financial institutions vary on the criteria they want. You can draft language into the power of attorney stating that the power of attorney is given access and financial discretion and decision-making regarding accounts and assets in the trust. That's kind of like, all right, well, we're just going to rewrite the Constitution so that whoever the first lady is, they're going to be able to also exercise the powers of the presidency. No, it's kind of separate documents. So I don't necessarily recommend that one, but look, it's an option that's out there. So look, hopefully this discussion has kind of laid out why you can't have a bank or a financial institution accept that an account is owned by the trust, controlled by the trust, and then have someone with papers for stuff that's meant to be handled outside the trust come in and use that. We had one thing, and this became much bigger than it really needed to be. She was an active trustee for somebody else. Again, a gentleman who needed some assistance. She was an active trustee, and she had such a fit with the bank because they wouldn't take the power of attorney. All she had to do was give them the copy of the trust and show, see, I'm the trustee, and that would have taken care of it. So I hope you found that information useful. Like I said, it's a short but important one. So if you want to learn more about revocable living trusts, then please check out the links in the description below, probably the best way to learn about just the very, very basic top level stuff about avoiding probate and putting together your estate plan is my book, Estate Planning Basics. And we'll also link that in the description. And as I always tell my clients, please stay safe, plan ahead, and enjoy life. And whatever you do, make it a great day.